Prince George and Princess Charlotte traveled to Westminster Abbey with their mother and the Queen Consort today, joining senior royals and avoiding the tens of thousands of mourners who had gathered on the streets of London. Both George, the ninth in line to the throne, and his younger sister, who was dressed in a stylish black hat with a bow, appeared to understand the significance of the occasion as they rode in a royal car with their parents, the Prince and Princess of Wales, and later transferred to a procession car with Catherine and Camilla. As they were driven to Westminster Abbey ahead of the Queen's state funeral, which saw 2,000 dignitaries, foreign royals, and politicians pour into the historic London Abbey, the Queen's great-grandchildren, minus their youngest sibling, Louis IV, who did not attend the service, cut solemn figures. The Princess of Wales was a reassuring presence throughout the entire event. She was seen firmly gripping Princess Charlotte's hand as the family arrived at Westminster Abbey. Princess Charlotte was dressed in a black morning coat with a velour collar and a matching wide-brimmed hat to go along with it. George projected an air of self-assurance as he walked slightly in front of his mother and sister while clothed in a suit of navy blue with a black tie. Prince William, King Charles, and other senior royals had earlier marched behind the coffin as it arrived at Westminster Abbey while the two kids watched from their claret royal car. Senior royals were welcomed by clergymen leading the state funeral when they arrived at the Abbey gates. The Princess of Wales made a number of encouraging gestures toward her daughter, including gently bringing her through the wood doors of the Abbey. Prince George appeared mature beyond his years, appreciating the history of the moment, and waiting patiently as his father Prince William arrived into the Abbey after walking behind the Queen's coffin. Commenting on the appearance of the two young royals in their historic roles, body language expert Adrienne Carter told the Daily Star she felt Charlotte had let George take the lead at the state funeral. The remark is made as George, who will probably rule as king someday, assumes a significant role on the day of the Queen's funeral. The heir to the throne after William, Adrienne said she felt that younger sister Charlotte was aware of this, and let him go ahead. Speaking to the outlet she said, "First glimpses of George and Charlotte and they seem relaxed and not too strained at all. Catherine does keep a watchful eye on the children as they exit the car," she said. "We see Charlotte move back to let George take the lead. Camilla goes way ahead as they enter almost as if she's on her own. They, Charlotte and George, do show maturity but not a heavy weight on them. They look like they are well prepared but not scared of their roles today." The second in line to the throne is thought to have been brought to the momentous occasion by the Prince and Princess of Wales after top royal officials advised them to think about letting him attend the state burial because of the potent symbolic message it delivers. Additionally, the Queen enjoyed a close relationship with George and Charlotte, who referred to her as "gone." Her Majesty nodded to their births in her Christmas speeches in 2013 and 2015, respectively. "For the new parents, life will never quite be the same again," she announced following George's arrival, while she happily celebrated Charlotte joining the family a few years later. "One of the joys of living a long life is watching one's children, then grandchildren, then great-grandchildren, help decorate the Christmas tree. And this year my family has a new member to join in the fun." Given that George is now second in line to the throne, several senior advisors reportedly wanted him to attend the funeral. The Princess of Wales has disclosed that George is the only one of her children who truly comprehends the loss of his great-grandmother and that he is only recently realizing how significant she was to British society. Speaking of making the decision to let the two young royals attend their great-grandmother's funeral today, a source revealed to the media that the Prince and Princess of Wales thought long and hard about whether their two eldest children, aged 9 and 7, should join them. But after George and Charlotte attended their great-grandfather's memorial in March, William and Catherine decided they could cope with the solemnity of the occasion. As parents they have, of course, thought long and hard about whether their children should accompany them, a source said. "Of course little Louis is too young, but they think George and Charlotte are up to it." George is now the second in line to the throne at the early age of 9, having recently gotten over the terrifying prospect of starting a new school. In light of this, advisors have recommended that it would be beneficial for the general people to see the young prince, who nicknamed the Queen with affection "Gone," and who is the monarchy's future. It is the first public appearance of any of the Prince and Princess of Wales children since the Queen's death on September 8. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis will be deeply affected by the passing of their great-grandmother the Queen as they and their parents start a new life in Adelaide Cottage on the grounds of Windsor Castle, where Her Majesty spent most of the year. The Princess of Wales has provided a glimpse into her children's grief during royal walkabouts and engagements this week by claiming that Prince George has a deeper understanding of their gone's passing. Days ago, Prince William said the couple are trying to keep everything constant for their 3 children since the death of their beloved granny. While speaking with well-wishers outside the Sandringham estate in Norfolk, the Queen's grandson Prince William told royal fans the children are settling in after their great-grandmother passed away during the first week of school. But he added they were doing okay. He told well-wisher Karen Anvil, "We're trying to keep everything constant and settled for them." As royal fans chatted with the Prince of Wales, he admitted there was lots of talk of the Queen's death among the pupils, and agreed it was the only talking point. The Prince of Wales also mused with well-wishers about how lovely it was that his children were able to have a relationship with their great-grandmother, just as he did. He said, "I remember my great-grandmother, you see. She lived until 101. We thought my grandmother might get a bit more." Catherine also spoke to royal fans before she and her husband looked at tributes to the late Queen, telling them the children were in a routine and coping with their great-grandmother's death. She said, "They're in school and they're being well looked after. They're in a routine and they're happy." The Princess of Wales added the young princes and princess had made new friends. Catherine also told Australia's Governor-General yesterday, at a reception for Commonwealth dignitaries ahead of the Queen's funeral today, that their 4-year-old Louis is asking questions and struggling to understand. David Hurley remembered a chat he had with Catherine in which she said that her eldest son, Prince George, is sort of now realizing how significant his great-grandmother was and what is going on. But Louis, 4, has been wondering if the family's summer visit to Balmoral Castle will be as he recalls it. The younger one is now asking questions like, "Do you think we can still play these games when we go to Balmoral?" and things like that, because she's not going to be there, Mr. Hurley said.